Welcome to Photos and Travel, a show that introduces you to fascinating places around the world. Please welcome our host and tour guide, Jonathan Van Bilsen.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Photos and Travel, where we bring the world to your doorstep. In today's episode, we're going to travel to the spectacular Mediterranean country of Greece. Instead of visiting the many islands, we're going to concentrate on the mainland, especially the Peloponnesian Peninsula, starting of course with the capital of Athens. We'll begin our adventure right after these messages.
At Voss, your independent grocer, it's all about hometown living and shopping. Owned and operated by Terry and Christine Voss, their newly renovated Port Perry store carries many local items to support our town and its residents.
Fleet of services to help you and your pets live their very best lives. Visit Pet Value in Port Perry and discover a world of expertise, friendly staff, and everything you need for your pets. Pet Value, your pet, your store.
Welcome back. Greece has a perfect climate, beautiful scenery, and excellent cuisine. I started my most recent adventure in Athens, the capital of the country. This ancient city with a population of just over 4 million inhabitants is one of the most visited cities in Europe. In fact, the entire country has more than 30 million tourists each year. Ancient Athens, also known as Agora, is a captivating destination steeped in history. Visitors can explore the Acropolis, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It showcases iconic structures like the Parthenon, the Propylaea, and the Erechtheion. The Agora, an ancient marketplace, provides a glimpse into daily life during ancient times. Athenians don't wait until the weekend to head out to catch up with friends. They spend their days under the shade of orange trees, nursing coffees and conversations for hours. By day, the leafy central neighborhoods of Pangrati and Exoria are packed with locals spilling out from kafanias, which are Greek cafes, into the streets. Philosophizing, a favorite activity of any Greek, and playing backgammon on marble tabletops while sipping on a cuppa is a favorite pastime of many residents. My first stop in Athens was the magnificent temple of Olympian Zeus. I was captivated by its grandeur and historical significance. Standing tall with its towering columns, remnants of the temple's former glory, I witnessed a captivating testament to ancient Greek architecture and culture. The sheer size of the temple, once dedicated to Zeus, the king of the gods, left me in awe. As I explored the site, I discovered intricate carvings and engravings that provided glimpses into the religious beliefs and heroic tales of the ancient Greeks. This magnificent site will transport you back in time, allowing you to imagine the temple in its heyday, surrounded by bustling worshippers and majestic ceremonies. Construction of this magnificent temple began in the 6th century BCE, but was interrupted due to political and economic issues. It was finally completed in the 2nd century CE, during the Roman era. The temple was devoted to Zeus, the king of the gods, in ancient Greek mythology. It showcases the immense power and grandeur of the Greek Empire with its towering columns and intricate architecture. Sadly, earthquakes, fires, and wars led to its gradual deterioration. Today, only a few columns remain, serving as a reminder of its once glorious past. Strolling through the charming Plaka neighborhood, I visited the National Archaeological Museum and took in breathtaking views from Lysibetus Hill. The Plaka offered a vibrant cultural experience where streets are lined with charming shops, cafes, and traditional tavernas. Just strolling along, enjoying the beautiful architecture, narrow alleys, and a visit to the Museum of Greek Folk Musical Instruments was a unique experience. Of course, my favorite stop was the Acropolis, steeped in history, culture, and breathtaking beauty. It's one of the most iconic archaeological sites in the world. The Acropolis stands atop a rocky hill showcasing awe-inspiring ancient ruins, most notably the Parthenon. While visiting the Acropolis, I became immersed in the ancient world and marveled at the mastery of Athenian architecture and engineering. The monuments and structures here, such as the Erechtheion and the Propylaea, offer a glimpse into the impressive achievements of the classical Greek civilization. In addition to its historical significance, the Acropolis offers stunning panoramic views of Athens, providing a perfect vantage point to appreciate the modern cityscape against the backdrop of ancient splendor. Beyond its architectural wonders, the Acropolis is a cultural and educational hub. A visit to the nearby Acropolis Museum gave me a chance to see a comprehensive collection of artifacts found on site, providing further insight into the history and legacy of ancient Athens. Visiting the Acropolis allowed me to connect with Greek mythology and legends, as this iconic landmark is said to be, according to ancient Greek mythology, the birthplace of Athena, the goddess of wisdom and civilization. Walking among these ruins, I couldn't help but be in awe of the ingenuity and vision of those who built this remarkable site over 2,500 years ago. The highlight of visiting the Acropolis is the Parthenon, one of the most famous and iconic structures in the world. Built in the 5th century BCE, it is considered a masterpiece of ancient Greek architecture and a symbol of ancient Athenian civilization. The construction of the Parthenon began in 447 BCE and was completed 15 years later. It was commissioned as a temple dedicated to the goddess Athena, the patron deity of the city. The Parthenon served as a religious and cultural center, housing a colossal statue of Athena made of gold and ivory. The design of the Parthenon incorporated classical Greek architecture elements such as columns, pediments, and friezes. It featured marble sculptures that depicted mythical narratives, famous battles, and religious events. These sculptures, known as the Elgin Marbles, are now housed at the British Museum in London. Over the centuries, the Parthenon faced various challenges and suffered damage due to natural disasters, wars, and human intervention. In the 17th century, during the Ottoman occupation of Greece, it was used as a gunpowder storage, and it was severely damaged in an explosion. In the 19th century, a restoration project took place under the supervision of Greek and foreign archaeologists. Despite its damaged state, the Parthenon still retains its grandeur and beauty, attracting millions of visitors from all over the world. The Parthenon is not merely a tourist attraction. It also serves as a symbol of Greek civilization, democracy, and cultural heritage. Its history and architectural significance make it a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a testament to the enduring legacy of ancient Greece. Sadly, many of the treasures of the Acropolis were pillaged in 1802 by Lord Elgin, British ambassador to the Ottoman Empire. They can now be found in the British Museum. To think, the entire Acropolis was constructed for 600,000 drachma, which is about $2,000 US. Speaking of currency, until recent years, the economy of Greece had always been good. When Greece became the 10th member of the European Union in 1981, the country's economy and finances were in great shape. And by 1999, the country had a very respectable debt-to-GDP ratio of less than 60%, which is considered extremely acceptable. The situation deteriorated dramatically over the next 2 decades due to the reckless extravagance which is defined as wasteful and excessive expenditure by social programs and retirement benefits. This caused deficits and debt levels to explode beyond control. With the financial crisis in 2008, investors were concerned that loans made by the US to countries such as Portugal, Ireland, Italy, Spain, and Greece could default. They consequently demanded higher yields, hurting the economies of those already suffering countries. The final nail in the coffin came in 2009, when a new Greek government led by Papandreou's son George came into power and revealed that the fiscal deficit was nearly 13%, more than twice the previously disclosed figure. This sent a debt crisis into high gear. The pandemic further increased the debt, and Greece now has until 2060 to pay off its loans. One question that arises is, why continue to loan them money? The answer is that Greece represents a major market for Western European, especially Germany's goods and services. In short, Greece was living beyond its means. Like any bad financial management, there are consequences, and Greece certainly has those. I continued my exploration of Athens with a visit to the ancient necropolis of Keramikos, which offered a captivating journey through history. Located near the Acropolis, this archaeological site unveils remarkable tombs and funerary sculptures. As I explored the well-preserved ruins, I gained insights into the Greek burial practices and witnessed the mesmerizing blend of art and symbolism. In the center of Athens lies the Constitution Square, built by King Orthos as his royal palace. After the Revolution of 1923, which overthrew King George, it became the Parliament building as well as a monument to the unknown soldier. I wandered past the University of Athens, located downtown, and decided to take a peek. The university, founded in 1837, is the oldest university in Greece and one of the most prestigious institutions in Europe. It played a vital role in the country's struggle for independence and has been a center of intellectual and cultural life ever since. The university offers a wide range of disciplines and has produced numerous influential scholars and leaders. The Academy building is beautiful neoclassical structure housing classrooms, lecture halls, and faculty offices. It is flanked by two tall columns bearing the statues of Athena and Apollo. I left the university for a visit to the National Archaeological Museum. It was originally intended to receive 19th century excavations from Attica and other parts of Greece, but the museum took its present form after gradually becoming enriched with archaeological finds from all parts of the Greek world and even from Egypt. Rich with 11,000 exhibits which offer a holistic view of the past, the museum is a valuable center for historical and cultural study. My must-see list in Athens included St. George's Church, high above Lysibetus Hill. I took a funicular to the top and saw spectacular views of the city while enjoying a wonderful dinner. St. George of Lysibetus is a historic church initially built in the 19th century and has a rich history dating back to ancient times. The church has undergone several renovations and has become a significant religious and cultural landmark in Athens, attracting tourists and locals alike. After dinner, it was time for a little shopping in the Plaka, the oldest and most beautiful neighborhood in Athens. Clustered around the slopes of the Acropolis, it incorporates labyrinth streets and neoclassical architecture. Plaka is built on top of the residential part of ancient Athens. Greek costumes and folklore is extremely unique, and I had a great opportunity to witness a show. What an exciting city Athens is. There's so much to see and experience, and visiting the Acropolis was beyond words. The views from St. George's Church were spectacular, and wasn't that folk dancing amazing? We'll begin trekking through the rest of Greece right after these messages.
Not all Canadians have the time nor desire to manage their finances, and often that responsibility is up to financial professionals. Our goal is to help Canadian families achieve a happy and successful financial future. Visit us, the McClellan Financial Group of Asante Capital Management.
PP Print is excited to offer Port Perry wearables, featuring 2 great designs. Show your Skoogog pride with apparel and headwear. We have you covered. PP Print, more than just print.
Welcome back. As I mentioned before the break, we'll begin this segment with a trek through some amazing sites on the Peloponnesian Peninsula, starting with a visit to the ancient district of Carinthia. This area was once part of the mainland, but was separated when a canal was built in the late 1800s. I was shocked when I looked down and saw the water some 75 meters or 250 feet below the land. It's 20 meters or 70 feet wide and 10 meters or 30 feet deep. Due to its size, it's intended for smaller vessels. Because of the recent economic upheaval, many of the ships anchored in the harbors of Greece are destined to stay there because the owners have run out of money and can't afford to purchase fuel. Ancient Corinth was one of the most important cities in Greece. According to Homer, it was a very wealthy city in the Mycenaean era. The region was first settled in 4000 BCE. Excavations to uncover the remains of Corinth were begun in 1886 by the German Archaeological Society in Athens. They were continued in 1892 by the Greek Archaeological Society without spectacular results. Systematic exploration of the site was first started in 1896 by the American School of Classical Studies in Athens, whose excavations still continue. Just outside the village of Corinth, a rocky outcrop some 50 meters or 170 feet high towers above the ancient city. On it stands the remains of the imposing Acro-Corinth, an ancient temple dedicated to, among other things, love. Priestesses who worshipped in the temple spent their entire life giving pleasure to men. They would wander from the mountain to the main square in Corinth to entice the men of the city. Because of this, many prostitutes found their way to Corinth, and the city became very corrupt. St. Paul, during his travels, spent several years trying to rehabilitate the Corinthians. An earthquake in 551 CE destroyed the ancient city. Rebuilding attempts were made, but another earthquake in 1858 ruined it completely. The new city of Corinth was built a few miles from the ancient ruins. I continued my Grecian adventure with a visit to the village of Mycenae, which was inhabited in 3000 BCE. Its unique importance lay in the fertility of the surrounding plains, the ingenuity of its rulers, and the imposing landscape, which even these days cannot be erased from the memory of those who've seen it. Once past the Lion's Gate, one stands before 6 shaft graves. The golden treasures found there may now be seen in the Archaeological Museum in Athens. I found the gate quite interesting and was surprised that chariot tracks were still visible. A vaulted tomb nearby has been named the Treasury of Atreus. This is where visitors stand in semi-darkness and learn about the structure while a small fire lighted by a guide casts impressive shadows on age-old walls. Little is known of the persons who might have been buried in the tomb. The identification with the mythical Atreus and Agamemnon likely dates back to the 18th century. The immense labor involved in the construction of the tomb has led to suggestions that it may have been intended for a ruler of Mycenae and represent Mycenae's increasingly dominant status in the later part of the Bronze Age. From Mycenae, I traveled to Nafplion, a hidden gem waiting to be explored. This captivating city, with its rich history and undeniable charm, offers an unforgettable experience for every visitor. The moment I set foot in Nafplia, I was captivated by its stunning architecture, cobblestone streets, and picturesque harbor views. I enjoyed the ancient ruins, including the extraordinary Palamidi Fortress and the impressive Burtsi Castle. According to mythology, the village was founded by Nauplius, son of Poseidon. His special skill in nautical matters spurred the town, and it quickly became a naval power. Additionally, Nafplio boasts beautiful beaches where you can relax and soak up the Mediterranean sun. With its delightful mix of history, culture, and natural beauty, I'm really glad I made a stop there. Nearby the town is the ancient theater of Epidaurus, a marvel of old architecture and a testament to the rich history of theater. Built in the 4th century BCE, it is considered one of the best preserved ancient theaters in the world. The theater is renowned for its ideal acoustics, with the stone seating perfectly designed to amplify sound from the stage, allowing even a whisper to be heard by the entire audience. This extraordinary acoustic quality adds to the immersive experience of watching a performance in this ancient space. Today, the theater hosts various productions, including ancient Greek plays, continuing to captivate visitors from around the world. Originally, there were 34 rows of seats divided into 12 sections, which could accommodate an audience of 6,000. In the 2nd century CE, more seats were added, increasing the capacity to 12,000. I left Nafplion and headed inland through the mountains for a scenic drive to the ancient city of Olympia, birthplace of the Olympic Games. It holds great historical and cultural significance as the Games were first held there in ancient times. Olympia was the site of a sanctuary dedicated to Zeus, the king of the Greek gods, and it housed the iconic statue of Zeus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Additionally, the ancient Olympic Games were a symbol of Greek unity and athleticism, attracting athletes from all over Greece to compete in various events. Today, Olympia continues to be recognized as a symbol of the ancient Greek civilization and its enduring legacy. This is where the Olympic torch originates, and it's carried to wherever the Games are held. Leaving Olympia, I headed to the seaside port of Patras to board the ferry which will take me back to the mainland of Greece. As a photographer, I truly enjoy the hundreds of picturesque towns that dot the coastline. The next stop on my tour of the Peloponnesian Peninsula was a visit to Delphi to see the site and perhaps a visit with the mythical oracle. The town of Delphi is located halfway up beautiful Mount Parnassus, which in the winter is covered with snow and in the summer looks down on the most fertile valley in all of Greece, where incidentally the best olive groves in the world are found. The archaeological site of Delphi shows 2 sanctuaries. During the peak period of Greek colonization in the 8th century BCE, cities that had resolved to establish colonies in distant lands consulted the Oracle of Delphi as to where they should go and who should become the leader of the future colony. Syracuse, Proton, and Karim are among the better known colonies who owed their existence to the wise counsel of the Oracle at Delphi. Thus the prestige and fame of the god and his oracle spread east and west far beyond the bounds of metropolitan Greece. The sanctuary's fame spread across the world, and the offerings it received were beyond anything the boldest imagination could conceive. Croesus, the last king of Lydia, now the western part of Turkey, who was known for his immense wealth, sent all types of offerings, the most sumptuous being a lion of solid gold, weighing 250 kilograms or 550 pounds. The sanctuary of Apollo and the rectangular space around it lie at the center of Delphi, in the southern tip of the mountain slope. Blowing from the southeastern side, the sacred winds were carried up a hill along an imaginary path, which was flanked on either side by treasures and monuments. The temple of Apollo was destroyed as a result of fire and rebuilt in 548 BCE in a much larger and more luxurious style than the original. The legend associated with Delphi is interesting. In ancient times, a resident of the area who had married a beautiful woman was told he was about to become a father. He was so excited, he decided to contact the oracle at Delphi to establish the future of his son. The oracle explained that the child would grow up and kill its father. The man was so upset that upon returning home, he gave his child to the shepherds to be killed. The shepherds, feeling sorry for the baby, didn't kill it, but instead abandoned it on the hill slopes. The child grew up and wandered to Corinth, where he was adopted by the king and queen. At age 20, the boy decided to find out about his past. He returned to Delphi and met a man along the road. The man would not let him pass, and a struggle resulted, leaving the man dead at the hands of the boy. As it turned out, unbeknownst to the boy, the man he killed was his father. A sphinx in the area had left the people with a very strange riddle. When the boy reached the village, it turned out he was the only person who was able to solve it. Everyone in town was overjoyed, and the boy married the wife of the man he had killed. He had 5 children, but then the boy learned that his wife was also his mother. He was so shocked, he moved to Athens and lived as a beggar in disgrace. His name, Oedipus. My last stop in this wonderful visit to mainland Greece was the monastery of Hosius Lucas. It has a rich and fascinating history dating back to the 10th century, when it was founded by the monk Lucas, who became a saint after his death. The early years of the monastery were characterized by religious fervor and focused on ecstaticism. The monastery became renowned for its art and architecture. Byzantine emperors lavishly decorated the interior with stunning frescoes and intricate mosaics, making it a popular pilgrimage site. Through the centuries, the monastery faced various challenges, including earthquakes and invasions. However, it managed to survive and even thrive. Today, the monastery of Hosius Lucas is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting visitors from all over the world who come to witness its historical and cultural significance. Its impressive architecture, religious relics, and breathtaking views certainly captivated me. What a great visit to Greece. There are so many sights to see, and I'm glad I chose the Peloponnesian Peninsula. The history is amazing, and seeing all those ancient sites was just breathtaking. For photosNtravel, I'm Jonathan Van Bilsen. It's been my pleasure to be your tour guide today, and I look forward to our next adventure. If you enjoyed this program, please click the subscribe button and you'll never miss an episode.
Want to know what's happening in Skewgog? News and lifestyle, changes in business, and all the entertainment information you'll ever need. Plus, each edition has a new photosNtravel article. Look for your next copy in your mailbox.
At thestandardnewspaper.ca, we try to spread the good news. Even in tough times, we accept the challenge of keeping you informed. So from local contests to local happenings, let's show our support for all those who keep our communities strong.